All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to break down one of the biggest, most critical financing decisions any small business owner is going to make. We're talking about the SBA 504 versus the 7A loan. This is the exact question a practice owner texted me. It was 5:42 in the evening. They're staring at two different loan offers, literally trying to decide the entire future of their business. And that question, man, it just gets right to the heart of everything. Because that's what it all boils down to, right? It's a really high-stakes choice that comes down to this one fundamental trade-off. Are you after a payment that's so steady you could set your watch to it? Or do you need the agility to fund everything, the building, the equipment, working capital, all in one single package? Okay, let's dive in. So before you even glance at a single number on a term sheet, you have to answer one question for yourself first. What is your absolute top priority? What are you actually buying with this loan? This right here, this frames the whole decision. Are you buying predictability or are you buying options? Think of the 504 like a train on a set track. It's reliable, it's steady, and it's absolutely perfect for big, heavy assets like real estate. The 7A, though, that's your Swiss Army knife. It's incredibly versatile, it can fund a whole shebang at once, but it comes with a payment that can change. All right, let's move on and see how this choice actually plays out in the numbers you'll see on paper. This is where the big picture philosophy really hits the reality of your monthly cash flow. Okay, as of October 2025, the U.S. prime rate is sitting at 7.25%. And you absolutely need to care about this number because it's the engine that drives most SBA 7A loan payments. When this number moves, your payment moves with it. And here is the key difference in black and white. That 7A payment is going to float. It moves right along with the prime rate. But the 504, the core of that loan is a fixed rate piece that stays locked in solid for decades, with recent rates kind of hovering around that 6% mark. Now, the 504 down payment has this brilliantly simple formula which makes it super predictable. You start with a 10% baseline. That's it. If your business is technically a startup, you add 5%. If you're buying a special purpose building, think like a hotel or a car wash, you add another 5%. If it's both, boom, your down payment is 20%. It's that simple, no surprises come closing day. This chart really shows you the real-world impact of that rate difference. We're using a $2.8 million project as an example here. And look at that. We're talking about a difference of nearly $5,300 every single month. That's not pocket change. That's enough cash to fund a key new hire, to invest in new equipment, or, hey, just have a really nice cash flow cushion. So beyond just the monthly payment, there are two key rules baked into these loans that can really dictate your options and your strategy for years to come. And trust me, getting these wrong can be a very, very expensive mistake. So if you're thinking you might sell the property or maybe refinance in the near future, this timeline is absolutely critical. A 7A loan has a penalty, but it disappears completely after 3 years. That main chunk of the 504 loan, however, has a penalty that declines over 10 long years. You've got to know that the clock on these penalties is going to drive the math on any future exit strategy you might have. And let's be crystal clear on this one. These are not aspirations. They're not friendly suggestions. These are hard and fast pass-fail rules. The underwriters are going to audit this with your floor plans and your leases. So for a building that's already there, you have to occupy at least 51%. For a new build, it's 60% as soon as you're done, with a solid plan to hit 80% within a decade. Okay, so how does all of this come together in the real world? Let's walk through 3 really common situations that business owners face all the time. Okay, first up, picture a new clinic. It's a startup and it's a special purpose property. So if you follow that 504 formula we talked about, that's a 20% down payment. But what if cash is tight? A 7A might only require 10% down, and you can even have the seller finance a piece of that deal. So there it is, the direct trade-off. Put more cash down for that predictable payment, or keep cash in your pocket and live with a floating one. All right, next. Imagine a manufacturer buying a building and a huge piece of equipment. This is that classic choice. The 504 is the asset-heavy tool. It loves to wrap in that long-life equipment right alongside the real estate, all at a great fixed rate. But if the project also needs a big chunk of working capital or has a lot of soft costs, well, that's where the 7A shines as the better tool for funding the entire project in one go. Now, this scenario really highlights the 7A's unique flexibility when it comes to growth. If you're just expanding your existing business, some lenders might not even require any cash down at all. Zero. But if you're acquiring a whole new business, you'll need to plan on bringing a 10% equity injection to the table. So, what's your next step? Look, you can take action on this right now. First, just name your number one priority. Is it certainty or is it flexibility? Second, double check your down payment and your occupancy math against those rules we just covered. And third, shoot an email to your lenders and ask them for a payment at cap quote. That's your absolute worst case monthly payment. And make sure you ask them to attach the prepayment rules. At the end of the day, the right choice isn't just about finding the lowest interest rate on a piece of paper. It's about choosing the loan structure that lines up perfectly with your single biggest priority. The one that lets you go home at the end of the day, turn off the lights, and actually get a good night's sleep.